It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Riverside Chiropractic, the Horseshoe Bar and Grill, and Eagle Communications.
Good evening and welcome to another installment of Tiger Talk as we talk Fort Hays State men's and women's basketball. The program brought to you as always by the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine and Hays, where the fire's always burning. Good road trip in Oklahoma for the Tiger men. They get a pair of victories. Lady Tigers split. Nice win over UCO Thursday, but then a loss to Northeastern State on Saturday. Both teams back at home this week. Thursday, a non-conference doubleheader with South Dakota School of Mines, and then Saturday, back on the road, Fort Hays State taking on Pittsburgh State. We'll talk all about it when we return. Again, Tiger Talk brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, and we're back with women's coach Tony Hobson right after the break on Tiger Talk.
But I'm a very active person and like to work out, train for different runs, things of that nature, and the back problem was keeping me from doing that, and now I'm able to do those, so it makes my life a little better and me a little happier.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ewing, and here at Riverside Chiropractic, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible and teach you how to stay out of pain.
Riverside Chiropractic, 1220 East 27th Street in Hays. Listed in the Next Tech directory.
Get some great food.
The Horseshoe.
Looking for a place to feel at home? The Horseshoe Bar and Grill on the corner of 8th and Vine in Hays is a place to get a great drink, some great food with all of the comfort of the old-time local pub. Owners Bob and Jennifer Huff welcome you to the Horseshoe Bar and Grill on the corner of 8th and Vine in Hays, where you are a person, not just an order.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson, as the Lady Tigers coming off a split down in Oklahoma last week. Thursday night, got a nice win at Central Oklahoma, and then on Saturday, a disappointing loss to Northeastern State. I guess we'll talk about the good first on a Thursday night in Edmond, and got a nice win. Offensively, it wasn't a great game, kind of a I wouldn't say maybe disjointed, but just didn't feel a rhythm. But boy, defensively, your team played well, especially in that second half, only allowing the Broncos to score 15 points.
Well, I'm not sure what the issue was offensively. I know as we get into conference play, teams have a different plan and try different things to stop us. And one thing they did a good job of against us was stopping our transition. We didn't score very many transition points, and we're kind of an impatient team sometimes offensively, and if we don't get things early in the clock or on the break, sometimes we're a little impatient and take poor shots.
But your team found a little stretch in that second half where you got the three ball to go. It wasn't dropping early, but then you had a nice little run there. That kind of got you the separation because it was a pretty tight game up until that point.
Well, it was. I know we were up 4 or 5 points, and then we hit a couple threes to get us up there in double digits, and then it seemed like everybody loosened up, and we got it into Kate a couple times, and she finished. And you know, when your defense keeps you in there, you're just waiting for that one little spurt, and usually it just takes one of those, maybe two a game, to win if your defense and rebounding are solid enough, and they were in that game. But offensively, you know, on the whole trip, I don't think we were very efficient, and we just, like you said, I think disjointed is a fair assessment, maybe just uncomfortable, and like I said, you have teams trying to slow us down. They're not really crashing the boards on us offensively as much as just getting back and taking away our running game.
And then on Saturday, probably one of the more frustrating losses of the year, just couldn't get things going, make that little run late to take the lead, look like you might have it, and obviously the frustrating call at the very end. But I think you said it well after the game. Probably shouldn't have been in that position where that call makes a difference, because it really just didn't play real well in that afternoon.
Well, we didn't, and I didn't think we came out with the normal effort that our team usually shows, and it cost us. I mean, you have to remember what got us into that point of being down 43-33 late in the game. We did make a nice run and hit some big shots and made some big defensive plays and stops. And instead of talking about those, we're talking about the ridiculous call at the end of the game that ended up costing us. But I did like, you know, the grit that some of us showed, that some of the team showed down the stretch. You know, we had to really, I mean, when you don't have anything going your way, sometimes it's interesting to see who's going to step up for you and make the plays that keep you in the game and give you a chance to win it. And I think you saw that Beth is that type of player. Taylor made a huge play. You know, she just picks her at half court and goes in for what could have been the winning basket. And really, that final defensive stand, we did exactly what we wanted to do. If they took it to the corner, we were going to trap them and just trying to keep them there, and that's what we did. And it's just a shame that a game is determined by that, but I've seen it happen before, and it probably won't be the last time.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. So now the Lady Tigers try to regroup. Again, they'll be at home on Thursday, non-conference with South Dakota School of Mines, and then back on the road, another big one on Saturday in Pittsburgh against the Gorillas. We'll take a break on the program, which is, of course, brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes, where they have the half-price appetizers every night from 8 until close. Back with more and head coach Tony Hobson right after this on Tiger Talk.
Together your internet, TV, and phone seamlessly. Introducing Eagle Fusion. Now available at Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Looking for a place to get a great drink?
The Horseshoe.
Looking for a place to get some great food?
The Horseshoe.
Looking for a place to feel at home? The Horseshoe Bar and Grill on the corner of 8th and Vine in Hayes is a place to get a great drink, some great food with all of the comfort of the old-time local pub. Owners Bob and Jennifer Huff welcome you to the Horseshoe Bar and Grill on the corner of 8th and Vine in Hayes, where you are a person, not just an order.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. Lady Tigers trying to bounce back from that loss at Northeastern State on Saturday. They'll play 2 games this week, Thursday at home against South Dakota School of Mines, and then another conference game Saturday on the road at Pittsburgh State. Before we talk about those, you mentioned Taylor Chandler. She doesn't always score a lot, but it seems like she keeps getting better, especially defensively, has those quick hands, and we saw that in that comeback effort at Northeastern State, but we've seen that a lot this year. It seems like she just keeps improving out there.
Well, Taylor's a unique player for us because she gives us something that really nobody else can. And you just very rarely see somebody that is that fast and quick, and she can really make things happen on the defensive end. She leads us in steals, and it seems like the more critical the game and the tighter the game, the better she plays. She's not one of those kids that can only play in a comfortable situation where you're up 15 or 20 and everybody's rolling. And it seems like when the chips are really down, that's when you see Taylor make some big plays. We even saw it out of her as a freshman. Yeah. And Taylor's really competitive. She's used to playing in big games, coming from Wichita Heights, and just a good weapon to have on our team.
Well, as we mentioned, the Lady Tigers try to bounce back now against South Dakota Mines. I guess it's always dangerous playing a non-conference game this late in the year. You have a Hard Rocker team, new leadership. Their longtime head coach retired, and they'll come in, I'm sure, and be very scrappy. And for them, playing an independent schedule, I imagine this is a pretty highlighted game for them coming to Hayes and playing the Coliseum against a program like Fort Hays State.
Well, I know that they'll be ready to go. I mean, we got them pretty good here last year, and most of those kids are back, and they remember that. And they do have a new coach. Actually, was Kate Edwards' assistant coach when she played at South Dakota.
That's right, yeah.
So there's a little history there, and you know, it is dangerous to play a non-conference game this time of year. But at the same time, they were making a swing down this way. Offered to play a home game, and we needed another non-conference game, so we plugged it in here. It kind of keeps us on the same routine that we have during the conference, and we still have a couple days to recover and then get ready for that game. We will turn around and travel the next day to Pitt State, but they're kind of a familiar foe. I mean, they aren't going to take as much preparation as some teams would. So we just need to get back on track and not let one play dictate
the next 2 or 3 games. You'd have to just try to correct your mistakes, just move on, forget about a call or a play or whatever, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as hard for me to do as anybody, and so I know it's difficult for the players too. But just move on. You're gonna have breaks like that, and maybe sometime you'll get a break in your favor, and that's just the nature of the game, and you just have to play through it.
Well, that'll be key because there's still a lot to play for. You still have all the front runners for the most part ahead of you, so you can still make up the ramifications from that loss. But we've seen in the past where a game like that maybe turns into a 3-game losing streak, and with this team you can't let that happen because they still have a very good chance to be in the picture for the NCAA tournament at the end of the year if they can bounce back and move on from it.
Well, that's exactly right. You don't want one bad game to carry over and cost you another game. And even this game Thursday it's a D2 opponent, and it will figure into the regional rankings, and you just have to move on and just if you're frustrated, okay, let's take it out on the people we're playing, and not hang our heads and feel sorry for ourselves. And nobody's going to have pity for us. Everybody in the league was happy to see that result except for us, because we were ahead of them in the standings, and we'll have our opportunity to play the people that we need to play to beat, to get up towards the top, and let's just save our energy for that right now.
All right, sounds good. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. We'll see you Thursday at the Coliseum.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
And that is Tony Hobson. Again, the Lady Tigers and the Tiger Men in action Thursday and Saturday. Thursday at home against South Dakota School of Mines. Tiger Talk presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some men's basketball. Head coach Mark Johnson joins us next, right here on Tiger Talk.
Together your internet, TV, and phone seamlessly. Introducing Eagle Fusion. Now available at Eagle Communications, our community connected.
But I'm a very active person and like to work out, train for different runs, things of that nature, and the back problem was keeping me from doing that, and now I'm able to do those, so it makes my life a little better and me a little happier.
Hi, I'm Dr. Euling, and here at Riverside Chiropractic, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible and teach you how to stay out of pain.
Riverside Chiropractic, 1220 East 27th Street in Hayes. Listed in the Next Tech directory.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Good week for the Fort Hays State Tiger men. They pick up a pair of road wins down in Oklahoma. A great come-from-behind victory Thursday night over Central Oklahoma, then a nice 14-point win over Northeastern State on Saturday. So 6 straight wins, undefeated in January, and great road trip. Obviously, you win 2 games away from home. It's a big deal. And the way you pulled it out Thursday, first off in Edmond, and you kind of talked after the game, things kind of even out. You had those 2 rough overtime losses to start conference play. Thursday, one you probably stole. Weren't probably supposed to win that game, but found a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how you always talk about coulda, shoulda, woulda, but usually your season plays out and you are what your record says. And Central Oklahoma was a game we really were in trouble and got fortunate that they missed some free throws. I know the guy missed 2 free throws with 1.6 seconds to win the game, allowed us to take it to overtime. They also, I believe, missed 2 other free throws in the last minute, so 4 free throws, very similar to what we did against Central Missouri when we missed 3 free throws in the last 17 seconds to win the game. So, we needed some breaks, but at the same time, give our guys credit. We made a lot of big plays. None bigger than Craig's 3-pointer, but even Tom making 3 free throws when he got fouled. We had a steal and a finish, and just, then we got to overtime and Gibbs fouled out, and then we really had the momentum. So, great character win for our guys. It was nice to keep the momentum going, and it really carried over, I think, to Saturday's game at Northeastern. I thought we played we played fairly well, controlled the game, had to go to zone for most of the game to find a way to slow them down, and we're probably a little fortunate there also that they didn't shoot the 3 that well. I think they only made 6 threes, and they're a good shooting team. So things kind of went our way, and hopefully we can continue to build on what we have going right now.
On Thursday, your team just kept hanging in there, even though you fell behind. They kept battling, and finally got a few breaks to go their way. And that's kind of how this team has been. I mean, it's not always pretty. They don't always do everything exactly right, but they battle and give you pretty good effort, and that kind of pulled it out.
Yeah, we were disappointed in our first half performance. I think we showed up and weren't necessarily ready to play to the level you have to play to win in this league. And we were down 11 at halftime because of it. And the big talk was just come out second half and just compete. Whatever the score is at the end of the game, so be it. But at least let's have a little self-pride about ourselves and our program, and let's go out there and play hard for 20 minutes and see what happens. And that's what I think our guys did. We never really hit the panic button because we were just focusing on playing hard more so than the score of the game. And we end up hanging around long enough. Sometimes you can find ways to win.
Well, Tigers won that one, and then as mentioned, Saturday went to Tahlequah, played in the brand new NSU Events Center, and got a 14-point win over Northeastern State. And you mentioned it early, fell behind 10-2, had to switch to the zone, but I thought you guys were really active in the zone, and it really kind of turned the tide around. You're able to get a little spurt offensively to take the lead, and then really, I think they made that one little run to cut it to 7. Never let them get any closer than that the rest of the way.
Yeah, they're a hard team to guard. They probably run their motion offense as well as anybody we've ever played. Coach Gibson, the guy's got a couple national championships. He knows what he's doing, and they make it really hard on you. And when you're not comfortable playing a team, last year we went down there and tried to chase them around, and we stayed with what we do, and it wasn't a good outcome. So this year we'll try it, and if we're not having success, we're going to change to the zone fairly quick. And sometimes just being familiarity with your opponent, getting to play them more, you kind of figure out what works for you, what doesn't. And we went to our zone. Our guys did a really good job of scrambling around and finding some shooters and making it difficult on them. And I think by going to it early, it allowed us to play hard. Sometimes when you play man-to-man the whole time, then you go zone, your players get a little bit, now it's time to relax, and I never felt like we had that mindset.
The Tigers got the 2 big wins. They'll step out of conference play Thursday night, back at home, taking on South Dakota School of Mines, and then back on the road for another MIAA game. They'll wrap up their stretch of 7 road games in the first 10 in conference play when they travel to Pittsburg State on Saturday. We'll talk about that and more when we return to Tiger Talk, presented once again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes, where the fire's always burning. Back with one final segment and head coach Mark Johnson next on Tiger Talk.
Looking for a place to get a great drink?
The Horseshoe.
Looking for a place to get some great food?
The Horseshoe.
Looking for a place to feel at home? The Horseshoe Bar and Grill on the corner of 8th and Vine in Hayes is a place to get a great drink, some great food with all of the comfort of the old-time local pub. Owners Bob and Jennifer Huff welcome you to the Horseshoe Bar and Grill on the corner of 8th and Vine in Hayes, where you are a person, not just an order.
Together your internet, TV, and phone seamlessly. Introducing Eagle Fusion. Now available at Eagle Communications, our community connected.
And welcome back. Our final segment on Tiger Talk as the Fort Hays State Tigers gear up for a non-conference game at home Thursday and then back on the road Saturday to take on the Pittsburg State Gorillas. Before we talk about that, a couple of players want to talk about Craig Nicholson, 27 points in the game on Saturday, had 19, including that three-pointer to tie Central Oklahoma, and especially Saturday really stepped his game up. I think, 8 assists, 1 turnover, several steals, and rebounding the ball better. And you kind of mentioned after the game, he was challenged by Brighton Hobbs, who's pretty darn good, and he kind of stepped up and answered that challenge on Saturday.
Yeah, Craig had a great weekend. We need him to play that way. He's really a catalyst for our team. And, we count on him to score some points. We count on him to get assists, but what I like to see is the other things, he needs to improve his defense. I thought he guarded a little better, played harder on that end of the floor. And then rebounding. I know he's a small guy and he's a point guard, but, he was only getting about 1.5 rebounds a game. And when you're a team that struggles to rebound, we can't just rely on our big guys to get it. It has to be a collective group. And, he got 14 rebounds on the road trip. So just even things like that, really help us to win. And he's one of the best players in the conference. And, Hobbs is the leading scorer. He's returning first-team all-conference guy. Talked about thought highly, and rightfully so. And Craig took the challenge and wanted to show, I think, Brian Hobbs that he's pretty good too, and he showed him that for sure.
And then Dwayne Brunson, he gets 31 in the Central Oklahoma win, just really helped that comeback effort. And then a little slow start and battled and got a double-double, and 13 points for Gray, but those 12 rebounds were really big on Saturday.
Yeah, he was really a big key for the comeback at Central Oklahoma. I think he had 24 of his 31 in the second half and overtime, and then he definitely came out a little slow against Northeastern, whether it be mind not where it needs to be and physically not where he needed to be, but thought the second half really came out, and we needed the 13 points, but probably the 12 rebounds for our team was even more important. So both those guys, there are two players. Those are two all-conference type players. You need them to play well when you're going to go on the road and play tough competition, and they both did that.
Well, you get a quick home game on Thursday. South Dakota Mines comes to town. I guess always dangerous. You slip a non-conference game in this late in the year, but obviously a very, very important game as you come home to face the Hard Rockers.
Yeah, not perfect scenario to play them right now, but it was either play them this time at home or go all the way up to Rapid City and play. We chose to play them here. So, but when you look at the NCAA deal at the Division II level, I mean, every game counts the same. It's a Division II game, so for that aspect of it, this game counts just as much as the two Oklahoma games we just played, the Pitt State game we're going to play on Saturday. You look at last year, your conference finish doesn't mean anything. We won the league last year and didn't get in, so they take your whole Division II games as one thing. So this is a Division II game, and when we get to later in the year and look at the NCAA tournament situation, this game is as important as any other game that we play all season, including conference.
And then you're back on the road Saturday, Pittsburgh State, a team that's close. They gave Washburn a pretty good run on Saturday, losing by 3, and then maybe the best overall player in the conference.
Yeah, we've played 3 teams in a row that have, I think they're the 3 best players. You look at the Gibbs kid at Central Oklahoma, Hobbs at Northeastern, and now the Branch kid at Pitt. Anytime you have a player of that caliber, you're in every game. You have the potential to win every game. I think he had 31 on Washburn, and you look at the preseason, he had 30 points, 16 rebounds on K-State. I think he put 27 up on KU. So I mean, he's probably arguably the most talented guy in the league. So this is another challenge for us. It'll be, like I said, 3 times in a row. We're really having to find a way to slow down a great player.
All right, Mark, we appreciate it. Have a good week, and we'll do it all again next Monday.
All right, thank you.
And that is Mark Johnson, coach of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, a reminder, Thursday night, 5:30 for the women, 7:30 for the men, Fort Hays State and South Dakota School of Mines. And then Saturday in Pittsburgh to take on the Gorillas, 1:30 and 3:30 the start times from John Lance Arena. That's going to wrap it up for Tiger Talk. Hope you enjoyed the program, presented once again by the Hayes Orthopedic Institute at Hayes Med, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, James Motor Company, BTI, and as always, brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, locally owned and operated, 3203 Vine in Hayes, where the fire's always burning. For women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Walbrock. So long. We'll see you next week on Tiger Talk.
It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Riverside Chiropractic, the Horseshoe Bar and Grill, and Eagle Communications.